Tiny Spoon is excited to announce our 11th issue, Emergence. And to start off this release reading, we thought that it would be fitting to read the introduction to this issue on Emergence, written by the two co-editors-in-chief, C.M. Chady and Stephanie Michelle. On Emergence. We, Stephanie and Chris, the two founders of Tiny Spoon, sat in Powell's Books in Portland, Oregon after attending AWP in Seattle, Washington, spring 2023, sipping coffee and tea, surrounded by rooms upon rooms of books and masses of people buzzing, appreciating the magic that is the written word. Their cafe a warm respite amid the rainy yet rejuvenating Portland winter. The spirit of the conference moved within us and through us. It is hard to be a writer, especially navigating the pandemic, yet there were an estimated 10,000 participants at the conference. That in and of itself inspires hope, delight, becoming, emerging. We were united with our community, some of whom we'd only met virtually, and it felt like our creative universe was constellating itself in a wonderful harmony. In the misty spring of the Pacific Northwest that welcomes moss and lush green life in unexpected places, Emergence came into being. It only felt fitting that as we approached our 11th issue, we asked you to contemplate emergence in time and space with us. As always, we are beyond thrilled and grateful for the myriad of work that our contributors entrusted us to review and publish. We love the experimental interpretations and the diversity of what emergence means to many of us. We invite you, the reader, and now listener, to think as well of how emergency arises for you as you delve into issue 11, Emergence. And so with that, we're pleased to present to you 6 of our wonderful contributors of issue 11. There's some really fantastic work in this issue, and we hope that you appreciate it as much as we have.
In January of this year, I had an allergic reaction to an antibiotic eye drop called Xylit, generic name tobramycin. The reaction was sudden and intense. I'd never reacted to a medication before, and it took a while to identify the problem. Over the course of a couple weeks, and after consultations with several doctors, my eye eventually returned to normal. But in the meantime, every morning I took a photograph of my left eye to see if it was getting better over time. During those same weeks in January, I watched an amaryllis plant shoot up from the bulb that I'd received as a Christmas gift to a tall green stalk that burst into bold red flowers, blooming in the span of a day. Every day, I took a photograph of the amaryllis to see how fast it was growing, with the idea that I would make a time-lapse video at the end. But at the end of that month, I had 2 sets of photographs, and as I considered them together, it was as though the redness that slowly faded from my eye had suddenly burst forth as the red of the amaryllis blossoms.
The Blossoming by Victoria Hood. It happens all at once. It is scary and painful, and it feels for weeks like someone has stolen my body from within me. I woke up at 3 a.m. one morning and was being torn apart. I screamed so loudly mother and father both woke up. It was as if this transcended out of me. Like I couldn't be kept in this house anymore. My hair started to sprout out of my head in small tufts like grass. My body split into 5 different segments, and out of those grew even more small nodules. I ran into my mother's room to compare us. I had things to walk on like she did now. I had things to grab with like she did now. My hair was much shorter, but it existed now. In one movement, it felt like blood was coming out from my skin. Like my see-through body was now a bubble filled with blood and pus. I wanted to pop it. I wanted to open the wound and bleed everywhere. I ran around the house, knocking into doors and drawers and cabinets. I tried to find an edge sharp enough to burst my own bubble. Father pricked me with a pin, and all of my insides seemed to come crashing down. He took me into the tub to bathe me. Father held me in the tub as Mother showered, now unable to go back to bed. He wiped the blood from my face and told me this was the blossoming, that now I would be a woman. I'm not ready, I told him. You have no choice, he told me. I felt the water run over my body, and for the first time, it felt like I have movement, like I had any control. I separated my fingers and gnawed my teeth from the pain. I looked down and saw lumps on my chest like Mother's. I'm scared, I told Father. Blood started pouring out from the lumps, and Father told me that it was okay, that I would be okay, that blossoming is worse than birth because you remember it. At the end of my body, I saw it grow and grow and grow until I felt unstable. Legs, Father told me. You'll be as tall as me. He seemed to almost cry when he said this. I touched my face and could feel holes inside my head. My hands trembled. Don't worry, he told me. They will fill up soon. You're becoming just like your mother. I wanted to cry. I wanted to stop being in between. I wanted to just have one. I had these appendages like humans, like my mother, but I was still hollow and empty, just a lousy ghost like my father. I don't want to be like her, I told my father. Almost as if she could hear us, my mother began to cry. I'm sorry, I whispered. I thought about what it would be like I thought about what it would mean to be human. What it would be like to be like her. She is all talk. She is too solid, and yet she is as fragile as glass. Father is fluid like water, and all Mother does is cry and excrete herself from herself. Human felt like hot metal skin, and I did not want to be burned. We sat in the shower, the three of us, a family, for about an hour. The water went from warm to cold, and eventually Mother had to turn it off. Once it was off, we all sat like wet logs drying in the sun. Mother cried like she always did, and Father rubbed my head like he always did. I was the last to leave. I wanted to sit there by myself, empty. I laid out in the tub and could feel it now. I stretched my limbs upward and out, and I tried to feel my body. Everything was numb. I could tell that I was now built like my mother, but the feelings of touch from my fingers never came. I thought about what Father said, how my mother would masturbate for him, and I wondered if I had a vagina now. Another hole like the ones on my face. No feelings, no lips or hair. It was all the same slick surface.
My name's Robert Eric Shoemaker. I'm excited to be here, and I'm going to be reading some selections from my long poem, The Ecstasy of Saint Sebastian, which are published in Tiny Spoon. 6. Saint Sebastian is a gay icon, the unofficial patron saint of gay men. The penetration is obvious. Sebastian is always shirtless. Sebastian is athletic, a soldier. Sebastian is brave to clap back at Diocletian. Sebastian protects against the plague. Sebastian is a twunk. I don't see my body riddled with arrows. That body is a porn star. The patron saint of gay men cannot be a porn star who's probably straight. He cannot be a straight, shirtless go-go dancer, a man who sweats and leaves, who's closeted with a woman. That's not our body. We don't want it. Sebastian, the holy Johnny Rapid, give me a break. Sebastian's on OnlyFans selling feet pics. That Sebastian is the saint of gay men wishing they could fuck him or be him. I'll paint him chubby and scared. 9. I don't want to lay with my saint. I would feel self-conscious, my body fact unbearable. He would kiss me unfairly, wielding his abs and the shield of his pecs. None of his body on my altar, my devotional candle drawn blank. Can I one day paste my own body on the candle, make a sticker out of a little boy's failure, a boy hiding in words who became this body right now, a boy I hurt to love, a body fact to accept, even claim, a peeled sticker on a lit candle, praying. 10. Other poets say their body is a prayer or a god. Mine fails me every mirror. 14. So I walked through Seattle on the phone with you, just gushing about Sebastian and Catholicism's dumb fuckery and how I wanted to believe in angels and saints, or in the possibility of belief and also holy penetration and loving Roman soldiers and sexy holy bodies and platonic love's real meanings. I told you writing this poem was too hard, and I cried into my Dungeness crab Benedict, though I didn't say exactly why. I said, I love Bernini's Ecstasy of St. Teresa, and I saw it in Rome that time I got to go, and I wish I'd seen the catacombs and the stacked skulls and the ribs of the monks, or the wards they keep. I said, I wanted religion back. I wanted religions for each of us. Fuck dogma, I said. I want body religion. Do we always have to carve it up ourselves? So I'll invite Sebastian to appear to me. Maybe I'll summon him with my cross, or by rubbing one out. Maybe he'll come, or he'll come play chess calmly over tea. I wanted a saint to appear. I wanted sanctity. I want to feel sanctified, accepted writ, to be in a sanctuary, enshrined in acceptance. So the little boy in me, so the boys alone reading this, reading me, so you are not alone, so Sebastian can hold us. Thanks. My name's Robert Eric Shoemaker, and I'm going to be reading my poem Lucida, which is appearing on the Tiny Spoon blog. This poem is a contrapuntal style poem, so it's ranging across the page, and I'll try to recreate that in the reading of this poem, which is in conversation with Roland Barthes' camera lucida theory of reaching through an image or a text towards some kind of essence. Lucida. And when you mentioned you were writing poems for me, the world opened. Poems for me, the wound opened up. Poems for me, a collection of images kept in boxes, don't shake the Polaroid. Poems for me, under the bed of something greater, a memory is locked up. You were writing a poem the shade of your eyes, a poem the shade of his eyes. Brown pools I fell into, brown pools your eyes I fall into. What we are, repeated experiences, redundant patterns, falling in love with the same story, the same lost poems in a different body, the same lost poems in a different box. I would never confess this to you, this feeling that I am redundant, that I am repeating the same tricks, the same mistakes, that I am opening the same wounds, this feeling as if I'll get it right doing it the same way, as if I'll get it right but in iteration. Pretend you're the same person, writing me love poems. You saved me poems. I would never pretend you're the same poem, bringing me, you, back to ourselves. Because the sum of my experiences matters and is not equivalent to the scattered photographs. Because the eyes are not the same brown, regardless of the tint. Because the poem keeps unending and the poem keeps beginning again. I had to decide that in the poems I would leave in the names, a memorial, a memory, conjuring personae, tricking the reader maybe. I had to decide that dedication is not equivalent to a permanent relationship status off the page. That dedication is an expression of a present across time, is an expression to the reader. That dedication is feeling an actual heat and sour lemon on the tongue. Yet I have not accepted these versionings. Yet I have not accepted that the present cannot be eternal, that the present is terminal. Yet I have not accepted that I am coterminous with myself right now. You said death is certain. You said you are mine. You said live right now. Your brown eyes quaking, your beard just right, your beard luminous in the golden hour sun. Of course I felt love. Love is not wrong, does not require eternity. Only only contracts and systems ask you to sign. Give me, instead, afternoon sun. Instead, your lips on mine in the abandoned church lot, my dog pleasantly grinning. Instead, another night on the couch, eating pizza and playing video games. Give me, instead, another playlist, another Lana song I find myself referencing time and again. Nothing can be more permanent than memory. Nothing can be more permanent than this page. So fuck it, I'll take love uneternally the same. Isn't an ode a celebration, after all? Isn't an ode to a lover encompassing of flames and faults, even my own, the voice of this poem, even my own, the mistake of the narrator? Isn't an ode to a lover unreliability, because what love or lover really sets you on fire? What love or lover is not like every other lover in some way? What love or lover is really so unique? Love is not unique. Love is human. Love is experience. That is the point of love. When you recognize it, when you feel that your fire is matched, melting those barriers, the pages inside you, melting to a chocolate pool, divine, delicious, unutterable flavor. When you feel that, you are at your most human. If you break me down, break me slowly, so you can build us both back together. If you break me down, we will be as permanent as possible. I would never say love is impossible. I will never say love is impermanent, as long as memory. If you forgive me, as in, you leave me in this past, your life will remember. There I am, an echo of baby blue, a painted egg possible. An echo of sudden, prolonged eye contact. A stranger on the train possible. There you are, in this poem, a residual slipped line. There you are, in every love persisting. Thanks.
Summer, fall, winter. You toss me a mango on the front lawn. I toss it back. Our bodies are all that's left, remnants of the prior night, no sleep, and ecstasy on the beach. Something is moving. The ants are bitey. You giggle out, casually lifting one foot from the grass and then the other. You brush the soles of your feet against the sides of your furry legs and toss the mango back to me. Our hands must be cradles. We have to be soft with it. I have never brushed the fur of your legs with the inside of my foot, but I have had my fingers in your mouth, and it was so soft. You put your fingers in my mouth too, so I could feel it, the softness, the way back from the beach. At school, I took 2 photographs and drew us together on good paper. Your stretchy smile, my smile, big, with teeth that I did not draw. Nothing, no teeth, no lips. It was symbolic, or I could not get my mouth right. You took the paper from my paled hands. When you asked about it, I pretended. I had to pretend when I didn't know something about us to keep everything soft. It was a form of forever to keep it that way, and I have kept you soft ever since, hidden in the inside parts of my mouth. I forget the inside parts until my teeth bite them by chance. I pass by supermarket mangoes now that I'm old and feel my mouth wet for the sweet flesh of it, but they are never soft like that again. I swallow hard against nothing and keep moving. My body is all that's left of you. Hands, teeth, tongue. Soft, it will grow softer and soften around your fingers as they reach into my mouth once more, back into youth, where our hearts are softest and dreaming, but that won't happen until the very end. At the end, we will both get bitten up. I will be at the beach. The bitey ants will crawl over my feet and behind my eyes. My mouth will finally open, and we will drop the mangoes and remember our bodies and be cradled.
body of water. Took off my shoes, socks, looked closely at the soles of my feet, looked at my veins, saw that my veins are tributaries, saw that my body is water, that my body arose from, belongs to the sea.
Salt, of earth and minds, salt in essences of things, volcanoes, oceans, rain, gaseous rings that circle planets, and essence of dust or dust of an essence, shedding stars streaking through galaxies, and sometimes this, falling to earth. And of things, too, like lamps, pink Himalayans casting warm orbs in forgotten corners, in decayed leaves that come in houses, on shoe bottoms and in pant cuffs, and the uncombed hair of children, where other things live undetected, like musings, imaginings, dinosaurs, and dolls, pipe dreams, pie in the sky ideas that wait in the wings. From ancient places, Bolivia, Cyprus, India, Indonesia, Malaysia, Pakistan, Peru, where chafed hands made raw, churning water and hot sun changed feeling people to automated soulless husks laboring to stay alive. And in nests of culinary creativity, where soft, smooth hands come together in prayer to drop delicate flakes into vapors of steam, into pots and pottages and savory stews, and then onto caramels and chocolates consumed by lovers who feed each other before feeding themselves, and then curl up like cats or commas or cirrus clouds, wispy ringlets, fast moving things. And of us, of sweat and blood, circulating through networks of intravenous fluids and coursing through veins like thundering hooved racehorses rounding tracks, measuring furlongs, not droplets, not dew, but drenched with effort, emotion, ecstasy, and this, the rush of being alive, the singular moment in present tense. And in tears, tears of life, the joy and the sorrow, electrostatic attractions, forces of nature, the magnetic pull of oppositely charged ions, molecular bonds that cannot be broken, the science of it, proteins, fats, oils, hundreds of properties named in papers and text and visualized on charts, diagrammed and dissected, sodium and bicarbonate and chloride. And this, the taste of despair on lips and unspeakable things that even sadness cannot know. And in the finality of the day, the artistry of that evening sky, where gathering molecules of human existence, of dirty secret things, of smoke and pollution and emissions of greenhouse gases widely scatter thick blue light, molecules so tightly locked together that only red light gets through. Red light, spun like strands of translucent glass, like flames, not rising, but plummeting down, the waiting ocean below. No salty end here, but this, a new beginning.